Hey, welcome to another fun-filled night here on the set of Spirit Connections.
Yay!
We have a full house tonight, so I'm super excited. I'm yelling because I'm so excited. But but tonight it's a very special night because I brought back a reoccurring guest, Mrs. Robin Curtin.
Hello.
Spiritual astrologer.
Glad to be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also in the chat room with Miss Stephanie Burke, I have Mr. Andrew Lake and Mr. Matthew Moniz.
Howdy.
So I'm so excited that these oddballs came to visit.
All right.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing great.
Fine.
Good?
Yep, good.
Good.
I'm ready.
Good. I'm
Ready
ready
to talk.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out of Mercury Retrograde. That's what I'm ready for. So this
Who
is
isn't?
This is why I brought Robin on, because I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling so frustrated. Just I feel like everything that I've been saying, whether it's being given or receiving, it somehow gets misconstrued into something else.
Yes.
And Robin and I had talked about this briefly when she was on the show a couple months ago,
Yeah.
about Mercury retrograde and how everything seems to get tampered with, whether it's communication, whether it's electronic devices. And so we thought, what a great idea to have her come back and actually really hone in on the Mercury retrograde, so everybody
about this, yeah.
exactly at home can get a better understanding. And of course, you guys know that she is the spiritual astrologer, so if you have questions about astrology too, feel free, take advantage of
here.
it. But Robin, I wanted to bring you on to talk about Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
So what is going on?
Well, who doesn't feel stuck and frustrated and restless right now and just ready to just have all the craziness calm down? And there's a reason for this. Like she said, Mercury retrograde. But before I get into it, I want to tell just a quick story, just to give you a little idea about this planetary transit. I had a doctor appointment a few days ago, and the appointment was at 10:45, and it was about an hour's drive from my house. So I left plenty of time. I have a lot of earth in my chart, so I like to be on time, dependable like that. I don't want to be late.
Is that the Virgo?
Well,
Or is that- sorry to...
Earth signs, earth is solid,
Oh, okay.
dependable. So you feel an obligation to meet your, your expectations of whatever you need to do. Be on time, get there, do it. So I said I can't be late. I left myself plenty of time, and I got there at 10:30. I said I'm golden.
Yeah.
I get there, I go up to the receptionist, and she says, "We don't have you on the schedule at all for today." And I said, "I drove a long way. I need to see him." And she said, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll have you as his first patient, but he doesn't come in until 1:30. So I knew I had a 3-hour wait at the doctor's office. So 1:30 comes, and I'm like, oh, finally, I'm so tired of waiting around here. She comes over, "I'm sorry, he's stuck in surgery. He'll be here as soon as he can." I see him at 2:30. I've been there since 10:30. So I left my house at 9:15 that day, got home at 4, expecting just to spend a few hours away from home.
Right.
And I was there all day long. This, my friends, is Mercury retrograde. It was my fault for booking an appointment during Mercury retrograde, but life goes on even during tough transits.
Right, sometimes you have to.
You have to. Okay, so what does this all mean anyway? Mercury, in astrology, every planet signifies something because it's a language. And Mercury signifies communication. And we're talking about emailing, computers especially. We're talking about just conversations, one-on-one, texting, Facebook, any type of communication. But we're also talking about things that have to run, things that go, cameras. Electronics are a big one. My dishwasher, the repairman came today for the 3rd time. The 3rd time in a week. Finally got repaired today. I was very happy.
Was
There
it?
was much rejoicing.
Much rejoicing in my house.
Is it
As well, especially me, because I'm the dishwasher. When the dishwasher breaks, it's me. So appliances break down. But anything that goes, because cars break down. You'll see a lot of accidents. Unfortunately, you'll see cars broken down on the side of the road. A woman was coming to me for a reading during this time, and she said, "Oh, it's Mercury retrograde. Is this going to screw up our reading?" And I said, "Well, your only problem is going to be getting to my house. Make sure you have gas in your car. Make sure you have oil in your car." So she said, "Okay, I'm all set with that." She calls me. "My GPS just went out, so I don't know where I am." I said, "I told you were going to have trouble getting to me." So finally she got to my house and we had the reading, but these are the things that are going to happen. So Mercury rules over these things. So what does retrograde mean? It means going backwards. Planets don't actually go backwards. For those scientific folks watching, they say, planets are going around in their orbit. They don't go backwards, they go forwards. But I'm going to make a little comparison here to tell you what I mean. Have you ever, when you're sitting in the car, looked at the moon and it looks like the moon's following you? It's not really following you. And we know this. But that's our perspective. It looks like it is. So that's all we really care about, how things look from our perspective. So 3 times a year, it looks like, from Earth, it looks like Mercury is turning around in its orbit and going backwards, and then turning around and going forwards again. And it takes 3 weeks to do this. And during this time, when a planet goes backwards, what it does to us psychologically, and physically with the electronics, but psychologically too, is it makes us have to stop. It makes us have to stop communicating. Just calm down because things aren't working right for a reason. Because the universe wants to give us a 3-week timeout and say, look, you're so busy all year, running around. We're going to make things kind of break down and stop so that you can take a rest. But it doesn't feel like a rest, does it?
No. Oh, I want to ask.
It feels like craziness.
When did this start?
This started July 14th, and it's going to end on August 8th. So it's a 3-week period that it's actually going backwards, but don't start marking your calendars for August 8th just yet, because whenever I tell people it's going direct, I always end up getting texts and Facebook messages saying, Robin, it's August 9th. How come things are still crazy? You said. It takes a week for Mercury to get flowing again. So as soon as it goes direct, it's kind of like when you get on the on-ramp to the highway. You don't get up to speed right away. You're going in the right direction, but it takes you time to get up to speed and start flowing. So I would mark your calendars for about August 15th. That's when things will really start calming down. Your appliances will get fixed. Your crashed computers will be up again. Whatever feels crazy, whatever's going wrong, it will calm down mid-August.
Good, because even Mandy Avery, who I've had on the show, she actually posted about her garage door opener. It kept on going off and on its own, and she's like, all right, okay, this is a little odd.
I know.
But,
and I said, Mercury retrograde, hang in there. You know, it's going to be a couple more weeks. We're in August tomorrow.
Right.
Today?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh,
Tomorrow.
geez.
I just had to think for a minute. I'm like, I thought today was the 31st.
4 hours.
So tomorrow we're in August. A couple more weeks of, again, it feels like everything's going wrong, but if you can, dig way down in that well of, patience and try to bring it up and just kind of sit back, you'll find that the reason that Mercury goes backwards is not just to give you a timeout, but so that you can plan. We all have plans for the future. We all have things, especially now. There's a big restlessness, I think a global kind of restlessness, because everyone I talk to, they want some kind of change in their life. Everyone says, I'm anticipating change, career change, relationship change, financial change, all kinds of change. This is the time to really think about it, to really analyze, what do I need to do to get my goals met? So Mercury retrograde there's one good thing about it. One good thing about it is that you can really get your creative juices flowing. And Mercury isn't just retrograde, it's retrograde in a sign. Sometimes it will go retrograde in Aquarius or retrograde in Libra. This time it's retrograde in Leo. And Leo is the sign of creativity.
Now,
What do we want to create? That's
is it
what we have to
because
think
it's
about.
because it's happening in Leo right now? This is the Leo sign? Is that why? Or
Well, that's the sign that it is retrograde in right now.
okay.
It only goes retrograde 3 times a year. So it's only going to be 3 signs every year that it's going to be retrograde in. So you really have to think about, what does this sign mean? What does it mean that I really have to think about and analyze in my life? And Leo is creativity. It's recreation and play for people who have been working too hard. And if your life is all about work, 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 the sign of Leo says, think about how you can have some downtime, doing things just for enjoyment's sake, because that refreshes you for the next chapter.
Right. So anybody, how I would take that, anybody career-wise, or maybe trying
Anything
to
in your
market
life.
themselves, anything. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Promotion, marketing.
Right.
And Leo is the spotlight. Leo is you putting yourself out there. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out and be on TV or audition for a play, even though Leo is the sign of drama. So for those of you who are into the arts, maybe it's time to get back into theater, get back into something you've put on the back burner. But it's just a way for you to shine in your life somehow. How do you want to shine? It's
Right.
not a shy sign at all.
Now, Mercury retrograde always has this
See?
comment.
It's
Backwards
hard. It's hard to communicate.
Now, it goes in the retrograde 3 times a year.
Yes.
So, even though this is in Leo, the other 2 times, does it have the same effect as far as communication and appliances and so forth?
Yes. Yes. It's always because that's what Mercury rules over. So it's always communication. People always have trouble with appliances. People will take things the wrong way. They'll say, I don't know what they meant by that. Or I see a lot of people getting in fights. I saw someone get in their first Facebook fight during this time. They said, I think they blocked me. Or I don't know why this is happening. So I write to them, Mercury retrograde. It's Mercury retrograde.
It's crazy, huh?
Really, when it's over, you should get back in touch with that person. I bet you can patch things up. It's just, hang in there.
I just feel like, and especially like on a personal level, hearing it from so many of people that I know, there's always something lately has just been blocked. Everything has been blocked. Like, oh, I wanted to do this, but then I lost a tire on 24. Like it sounds so random, but it's not.
That's the time out that the universe is trying to give us. It's saying, look how busy you are all the time. We're physically trying to slow you down. I try not to do as much as possible.
Right.
During Mercury retrograde, I work, I take care of my kids. Anything that I really want to manifest, anything that I want to do that's new, not during Mercury retrograde. You don't want to start something under those conditions. Although I was born under Mercury retrograde, so I was started under those conditions.
Technically, you finished.
So yes, I should be just a walking crazy mess. But I think I understand the energy so much because I was born under it. I just understand it.
Now, Steph, I didn't ask you, but do we have any questions?
I have one so far.
Okay.
They would like to know, when is the next time that Mercury is going into retrograde?
That's a great question. This is why astrology is such an amazing tool, because it helps you plan for the future when you know what's coming up. My mother just said to me not too long ago, forearmed is forewarned. And that is so true. If you are equipped with knowledge, then you just can be prepared. So if we know, okay, Mercury is going direct August 8th, and then August 15th it'll really get up to speed, and then we have until Thanksgiving. What is that, 4 months? It's about 4 months from now. That's the next retrograde period. I think Thanksgiving this year is the 22nd, and it goes retrograde again the 27th, I believe, till December 3rd. So from around Thanksgiving to right before Christmas, that'll be a retrograde period again. So make sure if you have to travel during Thanksgiving, it's already a crazy travel time, the
Right.
craziest of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Make your travel plans way in advance and make sure everything is set. That's my advice.
And then, so let me ask you this. So, okay, we're talking about retrograde, but what happens after retrograde?
Once it goes direct?
Yes.
Once it goes direct, there'll be a huge sigh of relief for everybody. I think everyone will feel like, okay, the things are fixed, things have calmed down. I feel like things aren't so tumultuous. I think of it like a hurricane. During Mercury retrograde, I feel like there's so many things just whirling around. And I tell people on my Facebook page and my clients, I say, try to be the eye of the storm. Try to just sit in the middle and watch everything whirl around, but don't jump into it. Don't get sucked into it so that you're crazy too.
Right.
Just try, like I did at the doctor's office. And the dishwasher repairman couldn't believe that I wasn't getting angry. He said, I can't believe you're not angry. Most people flip out at me when these type of things happen because he had to keep coming back and things weren't getting resolved. And I said, I understand that it's not going to get resolved probably for, another week or so. And he couldn't believe it. But we should feel a calming down. And then a really lucky thing, right after it goes direct and we have that getting up to speed time, you can mark your calendars for this too. August 17th is a new moon. A new moon in Leo. Here we come to Leo again.
That makes me feel good.
So Mercury goes direct in Leo, and then there's a new moon in Leo. Okay, now everyone, the zodiac wheel, I don't know if you've ever seen it, it goes around, there's 12 signs from Aries to Pisces. Depending on when you were born, Leo is in a certain place in your birth chart. In my chart, it happens to be the house of health. In yours, it could be the house of relationship. In yours, it could be the house of finances or the house of home. So if you know your chart, you'll know where the new moon is going to fall in your life. But generally, a new moon is great for everyone because it's a good time to begin something. So not only do we have Mercury going direct, but we have a new moon right after it. So mid-August, August 17th, on is going to be a great time if you're thinking of, again, Leo, creativity. What do you want to create? Leo rules children. If you're thinking of having a baby, go for it. If you and your husband have been talking, you and your husband have been talking about having a baby, the new moon in Leo, I think it's going to happen then. It's a great time. It's anything that we create, like we create children, we create art, we create music. Anything. We create spirit connections.
Spirit connections. WCTV, Spooky South Coast, back to Spooky TV. And we have another question?
We have a few.
Okay.
I was actually just looking to see when Thanksgiving was for 2012. It's the last Thursday of the month, right?
Yep.
It's actually the 29th.
It's the 29th this year.
So we
okay.
should probably warn all viewers to stay home on Black Friday and do their Christmas shopping in October. Can you imagine what that's going to be like?
Good advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So it's the 29th. Oh, I thought it was the 22nd. Okay. So
That's the week
Mercury
before.
will be
So-
retrograde.
yes,
On
all during Black
Thanksgiving.
Friday and all during Christmas shopping.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so since Mercury rules computers, if you're like me and you usually do all your shopping online for Christmas presents, like Stephanie said, do it early.
Yeah.
Start making your list now.
gonna
Get all
start
those
now.
presents and just sock
Yeah.
them away because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to shop.
It's funny, not only was my watch giving me the wrong date, but we lost the brakes in the car, the hot water heater, and my computer went down the other.
Oh my
So it's
God.
funny, I'm listening to you and I'm like, there might be something to it because I've been
Oh, there is.
left and right.
It's crazy.
And texting and messages, it's all been fouled up.
Yep,
Oh,
I sent
yeah.
my daughter a text message and she said, I didn't get it. And I know she wasn't ignoring me because I looked at her phone. She really didn't get it. I said, Mercury retrograde, I won't think she's ignoring me.
Right, so we have a couple more questions.
All right. Some people want to know, do other planets go into retrograde? And if so, what happens when they do?
That's a good question. Other planets do go retrograde. The sun does not, the moon does not, but all the other planets do. And it's the same type of energy as Mercury, where it's not flowing outward, it's inward. It's a time for us to, instead of manifest, reflect on whatever that planet represents. So, for example, Venus. When Venus goes retrograde, I feel that people do a lot. Venus rules relationships and rules love. Not just flirty type of fun dating, but one-on-one. You and I, we're doing this together, we're in a relationship. Venus rules relationships, so people tend to do a lot of thinking about what are the challenges in my relationship, and how can I make it better? What do I need to do? Sometimes if things are going around unsaid, sweeping them under the rug and not really talking about things, during Venus retrograde, you start to feel like I need to think about how to talk about this, and and issues come up for relationships. And Venus also rules, just like Leo rules creativity, Venus rules the fine arts. So it's another time when people start thinking about, do I want to join a band? Do I want to, what are things that I want to do musically that I've never done before?
And
So
when does, sorry.
Venus?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. You can, if you can Google any, if you just go on to any search engine and put in Venus retrograde 2012. It's a lot of websites just chronicle it. Astro.com I use a lot. There are a lot of good websites that will tell you, so you can mark down on your calendars. And then if you come to see me, or if you go on an astrology website or go to an astrologer and say, what does Saturn represent? Because I see that Saturn's going retrograde. What does that mean? Then they can explain to you what exactly is it that is going backwards, and what does it mean?
And Matt?
Yeah, I got to follow up to that.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying Venus rules relationships.
Yes.
What about people that are single?
People that are single.
Good question.
Can
Can we have a love connection on spirit connection?
Well, no, I'm just saying that.
No, it's a good question, Matt.
If it controls relationships.
Lisa, wait, hold on. Let me see. Think if I know anybody. Wait a minute.
No, but I get it. No, it's a very good question,
No,
Matt. If you're on your own,
Yeah,
how
if
does it
you're on
contr-
your own, how
does it affect
how would
you?
Venus affect you then if it's going retrograde if you're not in a relationship?
Right. I have seen people when Venus go retrograde say, you know what? I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of not having the +1 when I'm invited to a wedding. I've seen clients come to me and say, I think I'm ready for a relationship. Or I've seen relationships break up during a Venus retrograde because issues come up and they've decided, we can't resolve this.
So do you think that it's more of a magnetic, there could be more of a magnetic attraction to individuals during this time frame? Or even just like, I know you said it was the time of a thought process.
Thought
and-
processes,
And thinking
yes,
about it. So
inward,
it could
yep.
maybe go either way, either the thought process of someone single thinking, I wouldn't mind having, a
Yes.
partner in crime, or whether you're in a relationship at that present time, the person in the relationship could be thinking, all right, let me think, is this really the right choice for me? Or,
Yep.
yeah, so it could
And
go.
Another thing that retrogrades sometimes represent are people coming, because it's a not a going forward energy, but a coming back type of
Mhm.
energy. People come back into your life that you haven't seen for a while
You mentioned
especially
that,
during
yeah.
Mercury and Venus. I haven't seen it during the other planets, but because Venus rules relationships, sometimes it's not just a love relationship. It's someone that you love, but not an intimate partnership. Because I had someone who was a really good friend, and we ended up drifting apart. And during a Venus retrograde, she came back into my life.
Mhm.
So, and Mercury retrograde, also someone that I hadn't seen for a long time, that I went to summer camp with when I was a little girl, contacted me on Facebook during Mercury retrograde. I was so happy to hear from her, and she ended up, becoming a good friend and part of my life on the internet. So,
Well, it seems like we have a lot of questions going
Yeah.
on. So,
Yeah, this one came from Schnooky Lips.
see, I love the name.
I know. Wanted to know
It's
what,
probably Judy Rice. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's not.
what can you say about the relationship between a female Libra and a male Aries right now?
Libra and Aries, that's a really interesting
Well, it's from
relationship.
Schnooky Lips.
And,
It had to
and let me tell you, Schnooky. When we talk about Aries and Libra, we have to remember that we're talking about signs in the zodiac. We're not talking about people. You are not just an Aries. You are way more than an Aries.
And I really am an Aries.
She
in real
is an
life.
Aries, that's why I'm pointing to Tiffany. She has a sun, she has a moon, she has a Mercury, she has a Venus. Everyone has all the planets in their chart. And you are an Aries sun, and your partner is a Libra sun. We're just talking about one planet in your chart, and we're talking about one sign. So we're really talking generally, but Aries and Libra in the zodiac are complete opposites. Every sign in the zodiac has a complete opposite. Virgo and Pisces, opposite. Taurus and Scorpio, opposite. Aries and Libra, opposite. Okay, so there's an opposites attract thing going on. The Airy Libra likes the fire of Aries, the the spunkiness and the feistiness, and the Aries is probably chuckling, and the Libra's probably saying yes, 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 very feisty. And the Aries just loves the thought process. And Libra is a sign of the mind. So great with conversation, funny, witty. There are things that they like about each other that balance out because they're on the opposite side of the zodiac. But if you're on the opposite side, that means you're on the same line. You're on the same axis. So even though you're opposite each other, you have a connection and you can meet in the middle. So I have seen marriages and great relationships with every sign in the zodiac.
Now, what sign is Libra? What are the dates for Libra?
Libra it's in the fall, so it's September 21st to October 21st. So
okay. So if you were on the cusp of Scorpio, and is it Scorpio and then Libra, or is it?
Well, September 21st to October 21st would be Libra, and then
Okay.
after that, October 21st to November 21st. And I know that because I always know that because Scorpio and Halloween to me go together in my mind, because Halloween is kind of a time when we celebrate the darker spirits
Right.
of our nature and our love of those types of things. And Scorpio has that deep, dark, intense nature. So that's why I said that's no coincidence.
But would Scorpio go well with it? Like, forgive me because I'm clueless, so I'm just pointing that out. As
Aries
far
and
as
Scorpio?
Yeah, Aries and
Scorpio?
Scorpio.
Actually, before Pluto was discovered, and now if you pick up any astrology book, you'll see Pluto rules over Scorpio. But before Pluto was discovered, Mars actually ruled over Scorpio. Mars also rules Aries. So traditionally, the traditional rulers of Aries and Scorpio are Mars. So they kind of understand each other because they're both ruled by the same planet and they have the same kind of intense
Intensity,
energies.
yeah.
Yeah, but I have seen people, I just went to a 60th wedding anniversary party.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was the best party, and my aunt and uncle, the best couple. Big props to my Aunt Edie and Uncle Mickey.
I love it. I love
60 years.
Congratulations.
And
I love it.
he is a Gemini sun, and she is a Cancer. Those two signs have absolutely nothing in common in the zodiac.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in common. And this is a great love, and a great couple who live their whole lives together, making a great family. I don't know their charts. So I bet their moons are completely compatible. I bet their moon and their Venus, or there is something in their chart that completely connects.
And you guys really have to understand that, like you said, your sun sign is one, and then you have your moon.
One thing. One piece to the puzzle.
Your moon and your
Mercury, Venus, Jupiter.
because I'm
yep,
Aries sun and then Virgo in my other two.
which is me.
Yeah.
And
that's why we're always connected.
Yes. See, Tiffany and I have a sun-moon connection. She's a Virgo moon. I am a Virgo sun-moon. So when we met, it was just like, hey.
Hey. Now, Steph, I know there's a lot of questions because I can see it.
A little quickie question first. Someone in the chat room is having a Pisces baby and she is Gemini. Is she in trouble?
Is she in trouble?
Yep.
No, you're not in trouble.
That's my mom and me.
Aww.
I'm the one who didn't cause her any trouble, so.
There you go.
And some of my best friends are Geminis.
No, I wonder why she thinks she's in trouble. I wonder if, did you hear the Gemini and Pisces don't get along? I don't know, but Pisces is such a sensitive soul and such a highly creative soul.
The most intuitive sign.
And intuition, and I'm a Pisces rising, and I immediately connect with the energy when I meet someone with Pisces strong in their chart. It's, your Pisces baby will be such a blessing, so no. No trouble.
She said she did read that they don't get along.
She read they don't get along. Okay, maybe because the signs in the zodiac, one's air, one's water, they're different elements. There's something you could have read.
That's
But
funny.
remember, we're talking about people, not signs.
I've been
here.
told just the opposite, though.
That
I've been told that Gemini and Pisces
And
are very,
Pisces get
yeah, and I
along.
found that to be true in my life.
Yep, see, it all depends on who wrote the book,
Yep.
who wrote the website, who you're talking to. Everything's open to interpretation. This is why if you go to a reading with me, or you go to a reading with another astrologer, everyone's going to tell Tiffany that she's an Aries, unless they're completely unqualified. Everyone's going to tell her that she's an Aries, but what does that mean? What does that mean to her and her life? That's open to interpretation. So you're going to get my interpretation of that if you come to me. Someone else might have something different to say. So wherever you read that, I would not worry. I think you and your Pisces baby are going to connect just great. Any other questions?
Yeah. Well, we got one that wants to know, are there any health issues related to Mercury retrograde or any other planets? And I happen to be the thug sign of the zodiac. I'm a Taurus.
Thug. Oops. And there goes my microphone.
Mercury retrograde
Speaking of
microphone.
breaking.
Well, something had to happen.
I know. Well, this usually drops every.
I had a long drive here, so
episode.
I'm so glad I got here, especially in the rain.
We'll go get ice cream after.
Hey.
Just saying. Okay. Cool cone.
So health issues. It depends. Again, if you look at a zodiac wheel, you'll see it's cut into pie pieces. And those pieces are called the houses. You might have heard of that song, When the Moon is in the 7th House, Aquarius. The houses. The houses are the astrological real estate of your life. It's where things happen. Are things happening in your house of finances? Are things happening in your house of work? Are things happening in your house of marriage? So if there are planetary transits and things going on in your house of health, that's what we'll sit down and look at. If you're having health issues, we'll sit down and look at the chart and see what's going on, when is it going to end, or when you're going to find out some information, when is there going to be a resolution. A lot of times it's good to get a test done under a new moon, because if you don't know what's wrong with you and you're trying to get an answer, a new moon will give you new
answer,
information.
yeah.
I absolutely time everything, and I'm sure my husband's shaking his head right now. I time everything by the planets. If I'm going to send a letter to someone that I really want them to receive it, I will wait for the new moon and drop it in the mailbox, and guess what? It works 100% of the time. It really does.
That's enlightening.
That's why I do this.
Got nothing.
Oh, okay. I'm
yet.
sorry. All I saw was a lot of writing on the.
But I have to say about the Taurus. I've been
Yeah, let's talk about their
the
sign.
Taurus thug. I have to say I love Taurus. I'm coming up on my 20th wedding anniversary to a Taurus, so I have to give you props to yourself.
We are loyal.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we dated for 5 years and married for 20, so 25 years. That's loyal.
Ett nomine spiritu sanctum.
So
Just don't
tell
bring
us
him into
about
a
the
china
Taurus.
shop.
Let's do like a quick little rundown. If you guys don't mind, we can go
Sure.
through signs.
That's fine.
Again, it's the sun sign because you'd have to do their whole chart to get the full
Right.
complete version of them. But so Matt's a Taurus.
Yep.
That's a Taurus, Earth sign. There's 3 Earth signs in the zodiac: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, all 3 of them, just like the Earth. When we jump off these chairs, we know the Earth is going to be there beneath our feet, no question. So those are Earth signs: steady, solid, dependable, reliable. And people always say to me, "I'm a Scorpio. Is that bad?" Or "I'm going to have a Pisces baby. Is that bad?" With me, I mean, I've seen some astrologers that are gloom and doom and beware of this, and I don't think anything is good or bad when it comes to signs, when it comes to people. We know that we have blessings in life and we have challenges in life. There are blessings to being an Earth sign, again, being loyal, blessings to the people around you because they get to reap the benefits of your loyalty. Challenges of Earth sign
Stubborn.
is well, with Taurus, and you'll pick up a pop astrology book and it'll say Taurus is a stubborn person. Where does that come from? It just comes from Taurus knowing their comfort zone. But I know where I'm comfortable. Why should I move? Right?
Amen.
You know yourself.
Yep.
You know yourself. So it's really their problem. It's not yours. Yeah, Earth signs are reliable, so that's the blessing. But the challenge of Earth is that if you are always the dependable and reliable one, it's a burden. It can feel like a heavy weight because you're taking on that role of being the dependable one in people's lives. People always come to you. You're saying, who can I come to? Where's my soft place to fall? And a lot of times, people with a lot of earth in their chart will not ask for help when they need it because they are, again, are put in that dependable, reliable role. So they don't like to appear needy. And again, it can be like a heavy weight on them. So it can be stressful. Again, the blessings and the challenges of the signs. So that's the earth signs, just a little overview of the earth signs.
And Steph?
Before I tell you, does it help if, because I know this is probably a question for people at home, especially people that are interested in getting readings, does it help if you know the time that I'm born before I tell you my sign?
It helps. It does. If it's on your birth certificate, if you know the exact time. Because if you say, oh, I was born between, sometime in the morning, that doesn't help. Because the sign that's rising up over the horizon at the time that you were born, at 4 o'clock, it could be Pisces, but then at 5:30, it could be Aries. So if you don't know the time of birth, there's just going to be some information missing from our reading, that's all. But we can still get a ton, the sun, the moon, all the other planets. It's just the rising sign and the house system that we're going to be shaky on.
I've had just before she gets into yours, but to kind of add to what you just asked, I had my birth chart done by Robin, and those little questions gave you so much more information, like you just said. But it's so worth it if you guys are interested in ever getting your birth chart done. You kind of get the whole ensemble of why you do the things you do, and
Yes.
again, it could be just a general.
And people
thing,
want
but
to
at the
know,
same time,
especially
it's-
right now, what's coming up for me. People say, I want to know what's coming up, what's coming up. People are anxious about the future right now. They're shaky.
I think we're always anxious about the future.
Yeah, a lot of
unfortunately. That's
people
why we're
feel-
stuck in retrograde to say,
Especially
Calm
in this
down.
economy.
mm-hmm.
And, right now, a lot of people are either in a job they don't want to be in, or are looking for a job, or just they have a job but they're not happy, they want to change job. So a lot of people are in transition right now, and your birth chart can just give you so much information on what direction should I be going in.
I wish I brought mine. I didn't even think to bring. I brought mine the last time.
Last
you were
time
here,
we had
and
your charts, we were talking about the charts.
Right.
Yeah.
But just so you could see what it looks like, because you
Yeah.
put a ton of effort into it. It's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work. And I have to say, when you look on my website, you're going to see spiritual astrologer. And that's where the difference comes in. A lot of astrologers don't come from a spiritual perspective. I'm going to put my spiritual beliefs into the reading. And I get psychic information and sometimes medium information. But I get a lot of stuff as I'm looking at the chart. And a lot of astrologers don't do that. So if you're not into that, I'm not your girl. But if my spiritual beliefs, I hope, will resonate with all my clients, and they seem to so far. So good. So.
Excellent.
I am an Aries.
Hi, Aries.
I know.
I feel like
You and Tiffany, Aries sisters.
yes.
Yep. So any questions about your sign, or
Well, can you? Oh, sorry.
I don't think
I was just
so.
gonna say, could you do maybe like a little rundown?
of Aries?
Sure.
Because I just haven't
Oh.
heard enough.
And that's because she's an Aries.
I know.
I know
Wait,
what,
tell me again.
I know what time I was born. That's why I didn't know if I told you, would it make a difference, or would you have to plan it out?
Yeah, I have stuff at home that I punch in all the information, and it will bring your chart up.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'll be able to tell you from my professional software and the stuff I have at home.
And it's not Starry Night, right?
What do you mean?
Starry Night, it's an astronomy program that brings up stars and constellations.
Oh, no. Actually, see, that's the stuff that I'm bad at, is the astronomy. I am spiritual, and I studied psychological astrology. So I can't tell you when you're going to be able to see Venus in the night sky in your backyard, eclipses, stuff like that. I
That's
get
what the news
fuzzy.
is for.
So the actual
They
physical.
got an app for that.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that are really good at that. I'm not one of them. I have learned the language of astrology, what it means and how to help people with their lives through the language. I believe it's a gift from the universe just to help us because life can be challenging and we can use all the help we can get and all the tools that we can get, and astrology is one of them. So yeah, that's my forte. But Aries, so you're born in the spring. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's between March 21st and April 21st. So yours is
The 13th
of
April.
13th of April. So it's no coincidence that Aries is in the springtime because Aries is a sign of everything fresh and new. It's a sign of the newborn. Everything, flowers blooming. People who have the Aries energy like to do things that other people haven't done before. They are initiators. It's a fire sign, and fire just likes to go, go, go. Aries people tend to be very busy. I don't get a lot of Aries clients. I do get Aries clients, but you have the Virgo moon that wants to
Right.
know, that will bring you in. I think it's more the Virgo than the Aries that brought you to me. And people will say, well, why do you think you don't get a lot of Aries sun clients? And I said, because they're too busy. They're too busy living their life. Go, go, go. I call Aries the Nike sign. Just do it. You know the motto, just do it. Aries is always going, always on the go. So a lot of times they won't want to take the time to sit with an astrologer because they'll say, I'm too busy living my life. Why do I have to sit and talk about it and reflect on it and get information from an astrologer? I'm just living my life. And that's the Aries energy.
Does that sound familiar? I don't. No, not really. No.
No. So, yeah, see? So that's why we'd have to look at your chart to see.
No, we're kidding.
Oh, I thought you were saying no.
We were being psychotic because we constantly call each other and
Mercury
We're
retrograde. I'm not
connected
picking up
with
on
like
anything.
we're connected with an IV to each other pretty much. Like every day, I'm like, I'm so stressed out.
But that's how
So you do
conversation
connect
is.
to that?
Go, 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 go. We're so busy. We're so busy.
Yeah.
We call each other only when we're in the car on the way to the next place.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's just how it goes. That's the only time
All
we
right,
can
I
talk to
believe
each
it.
other.
I
But it's
believe
funny
it.
because Aries, right or wrong, I'm not sure, tend to be stubborn and like headstrong. So for two Aries to constantly be with each other is kind of rare, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the symbol of Aries?
Yes.
The ram
Yes.
with the big horns.
Our
Right.
horns are
Don't get in my
intertwined.
get in my way, or I'm just going to take the horns and
Right.
butt right through you.
But we kind of
My horns are bigger.
It just shuts on us.
enough for two.
But no, it makes perfect sense. I know two Leos who are married to each other, and you would think, oh, that's too much Leo energy. No, actually, I could think of two Leo couples where they're both Leo sons married to each other, and the energy just understands each other. You just understand each other. You say, oh yeah.
Sometimes you need that because I'll talk to some people and they'll always say, I'm tired. I'm like, how can you be so tired? Just do something. I don't know. Walk around the block. I don't understand this tired. What's tired mean?
I know, and
You
the
know,
thing is,
and-
and it's funny. You have to look. I can't say it enough. You
So
have to look
hard.
at the whole chart because I say I'm a Virgo. A lot of Virgos are shy. It's a shy energy. Do I look shy to you? I mean, people are like I have 4 planets in Virgo, but I have Mars in Leo. Leo, the planet
Yeah.
of the spotlight, very close to my Virgo sun and moon. So it like takes on my sun and moon. It's like I have an honorary sun and moon coming in there.
Right, right.
So I have a lot of Leo energy because of Mars. It has nothing to do with the sun or the moon. So it's very involved.
Maybe it was
Andy?
like fire
Oh.
signs.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I'm married to a Sagittarius, so.
Yeah. So Aries and Sagittarius, fire and fire.
Yeah.
I said 20 years with another Earth sign, Virgo and Taurus. That's me and my husband. It's a 120-degree aspect in the zodiac, you and your husband's sun, called a trine. And a trine is a best friend relationship in the zodiac. So
Interesting.
it's like you can just sit there and say nothing and read each other's minds and finish each other's sentences.
My Bob is a Virgo.
With your moon,
Yeah.
yeah, sun-moon connections I have seen in so many relationships. Yeah, a lot of marriage relationships.
Andy?
I'm a Pisces, but I've been told that I have a lot of in common with Aquarius. I forgot exactly how things were set up, but somebody went to my chart and said I had more in common with Aquarius.
So you might have some planets in Aquarius.
Yeah, that's from
Yeah.
what I understood. They
So
were-
you're a Pisces sun, but you might have an Aquarius moon.
I believe that's what I was told.
Yeah, or an Aquarius rising.
Yeah.
Because the signs Pisces and Aquarius have nothing in common. But they were probably saying that you have a big Aquarius influence in your chart because
That's what they
where
were
the
trying to
moon
explain
was
to
when
me.
you were born, or that's where the rising sign was when you were born. So you're not just going to connect with water energy, you're going to connect with air as well. Yep.
So what's the lowdown about Pisces?
Pisces, like I said, highly creative. It depends on the other influences in your chart, but sometimes Pisces people have a hard time in the physical world because Pisces is a sign of oneness. We are all one. If I had to say there was a sign of
You will
God,
be assimilated.
okay? Some people call it a higher power. Some people say angels, spirit guides, and for anyone who believes in something greater. If I had to say there was a sign that signified God, that would be Pisces. But I call it the sign of God and all other substitutes. Because the highest manifestation of love is your connection with a higher power. And if you can't get that, then some people fall into substitutes, which can be addictions, alcohol, food, drugs. I've seen a lot of, Kurt Cobain was a Pisces.
I know a Pisces who went the wrong way.
Yeah. So that's the two fish. Have you ever seen the
Yeah.
symbol?
Yeah, two fish,
One
right.
fish swimming, to heaven, and one fish swimming to earth. It's kind of like you have a foot in both for Pisces.
Which explains why I'm a ghost hunter.
Exactly. Yep, it does. Yeah.
See, I love it.
That's you. It's a mirror. That's what astrology is. It's a validation. The universe saying everything you are and everything you're doing, it's not random. The universe knows it and wrote it down for you to see it and holds it up to say, you're
Yep.
important. You're important. You're important.
How do you feel when people chuckle at Nancy Reagan referring to an astrologer for her husband? Because it seemed to work. And a lot of people scoff
Didn't
at
it?
it.
He
but
had a very successful
Yeah.
pregnancy. He had a successful pregnancy.
That happened in Area 51. We're not supposed to know. No, but that's, a lot of
That's
people.
something about Ronald Reagan you didn't know.
A lot of people laugh at that, but it seems
Damn
to be like it
Mercury.
worked for the Reagans.
Yeah, well, back before, what do we call these? The occult sciences? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't really know
No.
if I like that word.
I
No.
don't, because
The universal,
No,
No,
occult.
occult.
the astrology and the psychic realms and medium. People are turning more towards even just yoga and meditation, just trying to center themselves with everything and trying to calm themselves down and realizing that we're all one. All of this. Back in Reagan's day, it wasn't as popular.
No.
All this stuff. People wouldn't be as interested in, an astrologer going on a show. They probably wouldn't have an astrologer on a
Right,
show.
right.
They think their ratings and their sponsors would get pulled. And so back then, everyone was laughing at her. But she knew better.
Yeah.
Because back in medieval times, kings used astrologers to say when to wage war.
Yeah.
And if you've ever heard of the Hippocratic Oath that doctors take,
Mhm.
Hippocrates was an astrologer.
Yeah.
So he actually,
So is Michelle Nostradamus?
and,
Yeah.
and Nostradamus, yep. Hippocrates said, and this is something really interesting, don't have surgery. Every sign rules a certain part of the body. Again, astrology is so intricate, but just for an example, the sign of Virgo rules the stomach. So I've seen a lot of people with Virgo influence have IBS and stomach problems. Pisces rules the feet. Okay, Aries rules the head. So
I know where Taurus rules.
where does Taurus rule?
Is this a PG show?
No, it's actually the neck. Yeah, it's the head and the neck, and Pisces goes all the way down to the feet. So where was I going with this? I'm so sorry, Mercury's retrograde. I was saying something about Hippocrates. Okay, I'm sorry. When the moon is in the sign that rules the part of the body, follow me here, that you're getting surgery on, you shouldn't. Because the moon pulls the tides, and our bodies are made up of mostly water. So if, say, the moon was in Virgo, the moons in Virgo don't get stomach surgery. The moons in Pisces don't get foot surgery. I have seen this happen over and over. I've seen the moon was in Taurus when someone got their adenoids or their tonsils out, and it had to get redone.
What about Leo? Because that's what we're in now. What if someone's getting a surgery coming up?
Well, the thing is, Leo rules the heart, and a lot of times you can't wait on that.
Yeah.
So heart surgery, if the moon is in Leo, just go for it and, hope for the best, because you don't want to wait on that. But if it's something that you can reschedule, I would check and see, is the moon going, if you're going to have knee surgery, check and see, is the moon going to be in Capricorn? Check and see what sign rules that part of the body, and see, is the moon, because I've seen it happen too many times. I mean, Hippocrates knew what he was talking about. And that's why the doctors take his oath. So I would take his advice. That might sound like gloom and doom, but it's actually good advice. I don't want to be gloom and doom.
It's funny to have the clinical meet the astrology aspect of that, because you just think
The medical, it's just everything's
Right.
involved.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. If someone close to me is going to have surgery, I'll do a quick check and see, where's the moon going to be? So it's true.
don't know
There's
if
so
there's
much
any
to
more.
it.
I know, and that's why I'm such a fan of ever since I was younger, like, oh, what's my horoscope say, and what's going to
Yeah.
happen, and and even on Facebook I'll see it, and I'm not part of any of the groups, but I'll click on to as much as I can read, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I like to do that.
I always see you, looking at my posts. So
I know.
I'm liking my posts. I mean, I know you're reading them because I always see
I
them.
am.
I'm so glad Tiffany's reading them. She says, I read that and I told people.
I know, because what's your title on Facebook? How could people log into you and see?
Well, I'm getting a website during Mercury Retrograde. Of course, I would not launch it. So right now I am in the planning stages. Again, Mercury Retrograde, a great time to plan. I am planning my website right now, thinking about what I want to do. I'm going to talk to the people who are going to be involved in helping me set it up, so that's coming. But right now I have my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Robin, R-O-B-I-N, Curtin, not like the drapes, no A, C-U-R-T-I-N, astrologer. So just Robin Curtin, astrologer, and you get free advice all the time because I put stuff up all the time about what's going on in the sky, what's happening with the moon, what's happening with anything noteworthy. I put on my page to share with people.
You look great on camera, because you guys can't see it, but I have a little
Thank
TV
you.
monitor, and I'm like, oh, her skin color's nice, and yeah.
Somebody
So-
likes your shirt.
Because it's summer.
Tiff.
What's that?
Somebody likes your shirt, so don't feel bad.
Oh, this one?
It's pretty.
Sparkles. That's
Yeah.
It was
Just
Snooky
like your
Lips. It was
personality.
Snooky Lips.
Just like Aries, she's it's blingy. I like it.
Well, I got a bling in my life.
And Danielle, Gary, and Colin say hello.
Aww.
Danielle likes your shirt. She just said it.
Yes, because it was hers, and she gave it to me. And
That's why she'd like it.
Yeah.
I hope she'd like it.
She liked it, and she gave it to me, so I win on that one.
So last time we said that you were going to get your chart done, and I have to say, I tell people to check in with their chart at least once a year. Do a yearly update where the planets are on your birthday. Will forecast the year to come. So April 13th is your birthday. I would say in March that Stephanie and I would sit down and look at where the planets are going to be on April 13th, and that would tell from April 13th, 2013 to 14 what kind of year is it going to be, what things are going to be highlighted for you. And again, it's usually just a validation. People will say, yes, I know, I've already been working on that and I feel that
Right.
coming, but it's a validation. And sometimes if it's not in the near future but far off, it will be a surprise, like, oh, love's coming into my life. I did one for a woman, and I said, in 2 years you're going to be married. At this point, she was just didn't even have anyone serious, was just in the dating stages, and I said, in 2 years, and she didn't even think she was a marrying type. And now she's so happily married. The chart doesn't lie. It's not a lie.
The chat don't lie.
Don't lie.
That's what I think of.
Doesn't.
So is it better to get your chart done closer to your birth date? rather than any time during the year, or is that just a different option?
Well, for the initial one, I say just come. Just come, because we're going to be, in the initial one, we're going to be talking about what's your sun sign, what's your moon sign, what's your rising sign, your basic energy, so that you know yourself. Because the birthday one, we're going to be talking about your solar return sun, your solar return moon, and you're not going to know what any of that means. So my initial readings are like a little astrology 101 class, too.
Right.
Because I explain things as I go, so that you feel like you have a good working knowledge of your chart, a good beginner's knowledge. Yeah, so initially just come whenever, and then your next one will be around your birthday. I'd say check in every year at your birthday. Unless you want some other kind of reading. If you meet a guy and you say, I think this is getting serious, come for a relationship reading. We'll look, if you have his birth information, we'll look at his, we'll look at yours, we'll look at the strengths, the challenges of the relationship, so you can know it better and know him better.
That's interesting.
Do you want one done?
Isn't it, girls?
I just, her eyes go, ooh.
You have every woman on the planet sneaking through their boyfriend's stuff to get their
Oh, I
birth
know.
certificates just
Yeah, I
to come
know.
see.
I know. What time were you born?
know.
Why? Well,
I know.
just wondering.
Just wondering, honey, can you just ask your mom what time you were born? I've had people had to
Really?
ask their mom. Yeah, can you call your mom and ask
Happened to
her?
me.
Yeah.
Really?
I wonder when I was born. She was running a chart on me.
Oh my god.
That is so funny.
My mother says every
And a
wo-
criminal background
Yeah, and a
check.
criminal background check.
Query check.
And as my mom said, every
Background
woman
check.
remembers exactly when
Check.
their kids were born. So my
Oh,
mom was able
yeah.
to go 3:14 in the a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I think I was born at 3:16.
yeah,
I
3:14.
don't know.
AM?
You might know.
I don't remember. I'm
I don't
sorry.
remember either, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yep, February
1:42
25th.
a.m.
See? So many people
Steph?
know.
8:05.
8:05, I'm
AM.
7:05. We
Really?
were, yep, nighttime babies.
Nope. Morning.
Oh, morning. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, I'm at 7:05 p.m. So you're at 8:05 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I know my kids.
I have to
10:23
find
p.m.
it.
and 5:09 p.m. Yeah.
Now I have to go find my chart or my birth certificate. I know what my chart is. I don't know.
Your chart will tell.
Yeah.
Yep. I know I should have brought it. I didn't. We talked so much about charts last time that I didn't know if we would
I
get into
know.
it this time.
There's so much
But
to
we al-
cover, but
But
yeah.
we always do get into it. And next time we'll talk about more stuff.
I know. Well, that's the good thing about Robin, is that you're so diverse and a lot of different, Mercury Retrograde, we didn't get to touch base on that, and so now we were able to talk about it. And of course,
go into more.
astrology always comes up because everybody likes to hear about themselves most of the time.
Yeah, it just tells you
know.
all about you, and you're living your life, so you want to know what's going on.
So, Robin, where can people find you again?
On Facebook, facebook.com/Robin Curtin Astrologer. Also, I have to give a shout out to Open Doors in Braintree. I read there. I love working there. Hi to my manager, Adam, who is so supportive of my work. So that's in Braintree, and I do readings there. That's by appointment only. Uplifting Connections in Bridgewater. I am there the second Sunday of every month. And a shout out to Ellie, too. People at these places have been so supportive because
I love Ellie.
most of them, Open Doors had astrologers before, but they don't now. I'm their resident astrologer right now. But Ellie didn't have any astrology there when I came, so that was great that she brought me in. And Denise at Hope Floats in
Yep, Hope
Kingston.
Floats.
She didn't have any astrology there either, and took a chance on me and just loved the stuff, brought me in.
We connect. We connect.
You know,
Yeah.
so Hope Floats in Kingston by appointment. So if you go on my Facebook page, you can see all the places that I read, and I'd love to see you.
Well, thank you so much for being
Thank
part of
you for
Spirit
having me
Connections.
back.
And I'm
Thank
so glad
you.
that Andy and Matt were
Yay.
part, and hopefully
for your
Judy Rice was
questions.
able to catch this special episode. That's my mom.
Hi, Mom.
But don't forget, we are not doing a show next week, but we will be back on August 14th with Tim Weisberg, so he can talk about his new book with Chris Balzano, Haunted Objects.
Oh, that sounds good.
So, all right, guys, until next time, have a good week and a good night, and we will see you on August 14th.